This Giving Tuesday, the Red Cross is asking for more blood donations. I'm Skyler Henry with the invisible emergency that could worsen this winter.
And it is a downright cold, wintry, blustery morning. Be sure to bundle up if you head outside. We'll take a look at current temperatures coming up.
News 18 this morning starts now. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Good morning. It's 5 o'clock on November 28th. I'm Joe Paul. Thank you so much for joining us. It's frigidly cold out there as we check in with meteorologist David Seipel. It's even cold in the studio.
Yes.
It's just cold everywhere, David, and a little bit of snow out there as well.
Yeah, you know, there's a little bit of flurries. Whenever we get this cold, it just kind of squeezes out as much moisture in the atmosphere as it can, but really no worries there.
Yeah.
Snow is a big worry. The temperatures. Let's go ahead and take a look here at current temperatures. We're sitting at 17 degrees. This is what it was feeling like yesterday, but I want to switch over to the graphic, really the most important graphic I'll show all morning, because look at that. We're sitting at 0 degrees, it feels like, in Kokomo. Feels like 4 in Frankfort, 5 degrees in Monticello, 7 in Fowler. So definitely bundle up when you step outside this morning. And there's again a look at radar satellites, have some mid-lower level clouds and a few flurries flying around out there, but really no accumulations expected, just kind of a very dry snow since it's so cold out there, especially up into portions of Fulton County, seeing a little bit more of those light snow showers as well. So the bus stop this morning, again, it is going to be very cold, an isolated flurry or two, cold and windy. And this afternoon, only seeing highs in the upper 20s. But the good news is, after today, we'll be back to near normal temperatures, back into the mid 40s for highs. So we have to endure just one last cold day for today. Warmer air on the way for tomorrow and really the rest of the 10-day forecast. And we'll see a soggy into the work week. I'll break it all down in my full forecast here in about 10 minutes. All right, your morning commute, again, very cold. Definitely start your car a little early before you get on your way to work or school this morning. I know I did, and I also have that extra pair of keys to lock your car while it's warming up. There have been multiple instances where people actually steal cars when that happens, so just make sure to lock your car to do that. Very cold, windy this morning if you drive a high-profile vehicle. Kind of hard to control in these conditions, but the wind will die down this evening. It'll still be cold, but looking at current traffic flows, a little bit of yellow on 231 on the south side of Tippecanoe County. Otherwise, no major issues this morning. Joe?
Thanks, David. We do have a traffic alert we want to pass along to you. In Tippecanoe County, traffic along US 231 will be stopped for 10 to 15-minute increments throughout the day on Thursday. This rolling roadblock will be from the intersection of Teal Road and Lafayette to South River Road in West Lafayette. The traffic stops will take place throughout the day from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. The Tippecanoe County Sheriff's Office says the restrictions are needed for Duke Energy to rebuild a major power line that crosses over the highway. Drivers should expect delays and try to find different routes. Today, presidents, past and present, and multiple First Ladies will attend an invitation-only memorial for First Lady Rosalynn Carter in Atlanta, Georgia. Mrs. Carter died November 19th at the age of 96. CBS News correspondent Dave Malkoff has more on the 3-day ceremonies from Atlanta.
A tribute service honoring the life of First Lady Rosalynn Carter will take place later today at Emory University in Atlanta. All of the living First Ladies, from Hillary Clinton to Jill Biden, are expected to attend, along with President Biden, Vice President Harris, and former Presidents Bill Clinton and Jimmy Carter himself. 3 days of tributes for the former First Lady and daughter of Plains, Georgia began yesterday, with past and present members of the Carter's Secret Service detail carrying her casket from a medical center in Americus to her alma mater, Georgia Southwestern State University, where they left wreaths at the Rosalynn Carter Health and Human Sciences Complex. Her casket was then brought to the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library and Museum in Atlanta to lie in repose.
At a ceremony yesterday, mourners remembered her as a people person who was genuine and kind.
She treated everyone with respect and dignity. She was unpretentious, never seeking recognition for herself.
Crowds of mourners came to pay their respects.
I want to be part of a historic moment. I mean, not everybody can, pay their respects to the First Lady of the United States.
A private funeral will be held tomorrow at Maranatha Baptist Church in Plains, Georgia, where the Carters have been active members for decades. Dave Malkoff, CBS News, Atlanta.
The Carters celebrated their 77th wedding anniversary this past summer. First Lady Rosalynn Carter will be buried at the family's residence following a private funeral service. A federal judge denied Donald Trump's efforts to subpoena records from the House committee that investigated the January 6th U.S. Capitol breach. Judge Tanya Chutkin's overseeing Trump's election subversion case in Washington, D.C. The motion sought to subpoena records from the committee, its chairman, Benny Thompson, and others. Trump's attorneys claim the committee and federal officials withheld some materials related to the investigation. In Monday's ruling, the judge says Trump had not justified his subpoena requests, and she said he did not establish relevance between the case and certain items he wanted to subpoena, including recorded interviews. The order also says some of the requested materials already been provided to Trump's legal team through discovery. All right, Thanksgiving is over. That means it's time to put the pumpkins away and get out those Christmas decorations. And new this morning, Purdue Memorial Union's kicking off the holidays with the lighting of a 25-foot Christmas tree. News 18's Hadassah Harris was at the Union yesterday when the tree arrived, and she also spoke with program directors. And she joins us now to let us all know how we can get into the holiday spirit this week. Hadassah?
Hey, Joe, that's right. As the saying goes, it's the most wonderful time of the year, and Purdue Memorial Union is certainly basking in the Christmas spirit. Yesterday afternoon, Purdue students, faculty, and young children stood on the outskirts of the Great Hall to witness the year's Christmas tree being put up. With the tree lighting ceremony taking place this Wednesday, the tradition of at least 80 years has welcomed a tree from right here in West Lafayette. I spoke with Programs and Engagement Assistant Director Michaela Woodward about the preparation for this year's tree lighting ceremony.
This year we took our tree from here on campus. It's a Norway spruce tree. It'll stand at about 25 feet tall. Here at the Union, and then members of PSUB as well as PMU staff will spend tonight and tomorrow decorating the tree in preparation for our tree lighting event on Wednesday.
Purdue President Mung Chiang is expected to be in attendance as well. Hot chocolate, refreshments, and arts and crafts will also be available. The tree lighting ceremony is happening this Wednesday at Purdue Memorial Union's Great Hall. The ceremony will begin at 5:30, and President Chiang will join the festivities with his first lighting of the tree at 6 p.m. All are invited and welcome to attend. Reporting in studio this morning, Hadassah Harris, News 18.
Thank you, Hadassah. Today is Giving Tuesday, and the American Red Cross is hoping you will make giving blood a holiday habit. The nonprofit humanitarian organization says it needs thousands more donations per week to stave off what it calls an often invisible emergency. CBS News correspondent Skylar Henry has more on the Red Cross's donation push, which comes just 2 months after the nonprofit declared a national blood shortage.
You ready? All right.
In this season of giving, the American Red Cross is asking more Americans to roll up their sleeves and take the plunge.
Donating blood is an easy way to give back.
But American Red Cross spokesperson Ashley Henyon says collecting blood during the holidays is a challenge.
Schools are closed, families are on vacation, people are attending functions, festive parties, and not really thinking about going out to their local blood drive. But there are still patients in the hospital that need blood to survive.
The Red Cross declared a national blood shortage back in September, citing a busy travel season and back-to-back climate disasters. While donations have increased since then, the organization says it still needs to collect 10,000 more units per week to meet patients' needs.
We never want someone to be in a situation where they don't have the blood they need to survive.
Mark Lipman says the 9/11 attacks inspired him to become a regular donor. He estimates that he's given more than 700 units of blood so far.
Helping people is a timeless thing. It's not just one time. I look forward to it, to tell you the truth.
For those who may be ineligible to donate blood due to medical conditions, travel, or other restrictions, the Red Cross says you can still give back by volunteering your time. Skylar Henry, CBS News, Washington.
The Red Cross says the whole process for donating blood takes about 45 minutes to an hour from start to finish, and that includes time for a post-donation snack. If you'd like to give blood and platelets, you can make an appointment using the Red Cross Blood app or by visiting redcrossblood.org. United Way of Greater Lafayette's given thanks to the community for a successful 2023 campaign. The organization revealed that over $4.5 million were raised thanks to the generosity of those who donated. The money will help pay for several community services and projects, including health and financial aid for those who need it most. Americans flooded the nation's airports for Thanksgiving travel this year, setting some new records. The TSA says it screened more than 27.3 million people at the nation's airports between Thanksgiving and Sunday, making 2023's holiday the biggest Thanksgiving weekend for air travel since 2019. And once all the numbers are in, it could set a new air travel record. One did come on Sunday when TSA screened 2.9 million passengers, its single busiest day in its 20-year existence. 2.7 million travelers passed through airport security on Getaway Wednesday.
If this Thanksgiving weekend is any indication of what's to come, it's going to be a very busy holiday season. People feel very confident to travel, and it's showing. They're prioritizing their budgets to be able to take those trips to see their loved ones.
AAA suggests if you haven't booked your year-end holiday travel yet, look at early morning and nonstop flights and consider using a travel agent to help with itineraries. And good news for those people who are planning on traveling even more next month. Prices at the gas station aren't going to add to the burden of holiday spending. The price of gas has been falling for 60 consecutive days, according to AAA. The current national average price of regular gas is $3.25 a gallon. That's 27 cents lower compared to last month. The average price of gas is even lower in Indiana. As of this morning, Hoosiers pay an average of $3.11 per gallon at the pump. And still to come, Lafayette police are on the hunt for the driver in a deadly hit-and-run crash. What we know so far about the 61-year-old woman who died. Plus, the coroner is working to ID a man whose body was found on a trail at Cumberland Park. What police are saying led to his death. And a Lafayette man will spend more than 9 decades in prison. How officers on a well-being check uncovered the abuse of at least 3 children.
It's very cold outside, pretty windy as well, and seeing a little bit of flurries too. I'll break down your full Tuesday outlook and when we could finally be above normal with those temperatures in my full forecast coming up after this break.
watching News 18 This Morning. News from where you live.
Welcome back. It's 5:15. Scammers are working overtime to rip off eager shoppers this holiday season. According to the Better Business Bureau, scams are not as easy to spot as in previous years. In today's Consumer Watch, Cole Higgins has 5 tips for online shoppers.
The holiday shopping season is in full swing, and those websites hosting online sales are also a hotspot for scammers.
Unfortunately, scammers follow us around like legitimate marketers do.
The Better Business Bureau says scammers are working overtime to rip off eager consumers, and it's getting harder and harder for consumers to spot those scams.
If you think about the way people online shop, most of the time they're on a device. They're not on a laptop or a desktop computer where they might have a better visual field of some of those red flags when it comes to a fake website.
The National Retail Federation is forecasting that online and non-store sales will climb as high as 9% this year, and scammers are taking advantage of that growing trend. The BBB has these 5 tips to help you avoid becoming a victim. Number 1, research before clicking buy. Google the company name with the word scam, reviews, and complaints to see what other customers are saying.
Usually starts with, I saw an ad for XYZ, and then they have no confirmation of a purchase.
Which brings us to number 2, buy from legit websites. The BBB says scammers often mimic the URL of a popular retailer to get you to buy counterfeit or fake items. 3, don't be fooled by fake goods on social media.
We've also seen some influencers have their videos hijacked by scammers trying to sell the product on a fake website.
4, don't click on links from random texts or emails. And finally, the BBB says if the sale or promotion seems too good to be true, it probably is. For Consumer Watch, I'm Cole Higgins.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
All right, look at current temperatures right now. Very cold. We're usually seeing these temperatures late December, January, wintry out there. 17 degrees for the current air temperature in Lafayette, 16 degrees Monticello, 20 Winnemac, 18 in Frankfort, Kokomo sitting at 15 degrees. And that wind still pretty strong right out of the west-northwest, 12 miles per hour Lafayette, 13 miles per hour Frankfort, 15 Kokomo, Peru, Rochester. You factor that in the wind, feels like 1 degree Rochester, 0 Kokomo, 4 in Lafayette. Needless to say, be sure to bundle up this morning. So we have a lot of lake effect snow occurring in our far northern and northeastern portions of the Indiana and into Michigan, but we are seeing a little bit of that also into Fulton County, a little bit of Pulaski County near Rochester and Winnemac. So we're watching that again closely, but even a few flurries here across pretty much everywhere this morning. Seeing that cold wind squeeze out that moisture, give way to that very dry flakes of snow out there. Really no impacts to roadways, but it's just going to be a downright cold and breezy, at least morning wise. You can see those wind chill temperatures, single digits. We could get down to about 1 degree, it feels like, here in Lafayette if we hit that 15 degree temperature, and those winds about 12 miles per hour. We'll only work up to about 27 by 3 o'clock. We'll have more sun this morning, a little bit more clouds this afternoon. Otherwise, just a wintry feeling day out there for your Tuesday. Big difference tomorrow. We'll be waking up into the mid-20s, still feeling pretty cold into the teens, but then we'll warm up with nice sunshine. That southwest wind really bringing in that warmer air. Gusts up to 25 to possibly 30 miles per hour for Wednesday. Pretty warm compared to what we were seeing today. 43 for tomorrow. And then we'll drop, but not so low, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So Wednesday night, that's where we start here. Notice that south wind will be nice and sunny for Wednesday. Then we start to pick up more moisture in the forecast for Thursday afternoon. Some scattered showers, then more heavy rain comes in by Friday morning into the afternoon. Good news is this will stay as rain, and we could be seeing a decent soaker out of this. And I think Saturday, the Lafayette Parade looks pretty good for right now. Temperatures look like to be in the upper 30s, lower 40s. Not too windy, but otherwise not as cold as what we've seen in the years past. But we will be watching for more scattered rain, possibly Sunday, also into Monday as well. So we add up the rain totals here by Friday afternoon. We could easily see about 3/4 to possibly an inch. The further south you are, that's where the heaviest rainfall totals will be, but area-wide, seeing a good chunk of rainfall for Thursday night into Friday morning. So it'll be dry today with maybe a few flurries this morning, but just a downright cold day. Bundle up. Sun tomorrow, 43 thanks to those southwest winds. 50 for Thursday. Drop a little bit because of the increased clouds and rain on Friday, but then we'll still stay above normal for the upcoming weekend. 54 on Sunday with just maybe some isolated rain chances going into Sunday, Monday. And then looking fairly decent for next week with highs still remaining around and above normal, Joe.
All right, well, you kind of come with the cold weather today, but you're right back with the good news, the warm up coming as soon as tomorrow. That's kind of amazing, but a little bit of whiplash from
big time
from the contrast.
From this morning. It's still going to be cold tomorrow morning regardless, but this morning just be cautious. I mean, it is dangerously cold out there.
It feels like 0 in Kokomo, 0 degrees.
0 degrees. We've had some negative numbers this morning. I've been kind of watching the wind chills, but just be sure to dress warm and just take it easy this morning if you're going to be outside.
It's those kind of temperatures where it's the exposed skin can be an issue, right?
Yes, exactly. So, you know, cover everything up if you're going to be outside for a long period of time. Even just walking to the bus stop, dress warm.
Okay. All right, David. Well, hey, if you just listened to that forecast, you're going to be tempted to lock yourself inside this winter, but that's not a good idea. How lack of face-to-face interaction could be bad for your health when we come back.
You're watching News 18 this morning. News from where you live.
Welcome back. It's 5:24. Research shows nearly 1 in 5 adolescents are using melatonin to sleep. That's according to a study published in JAMA Pediatrics. It also found 6% of kids ages 1 to 4 and 18% of kids ages 5 to 9 are given melatonin by their parents as a sleep aid. This data was gathered from the parents of 993 children ages 1 through 14. Research found these children took the supplement regularly. The body naturally produces melatonin, but it can also be taken as a supplement, which is sold over the counter. Pediatricians recommend parents discuss their child's sleep issues before starting any kind of sleep aid. A new study found so-called Zoom fatigue is real and may take a toll on the brain and the heart in educational settings. In the small study, 35 students attended lectures at a university in Austria. Half attended a 50-minute lecture through video conferencing. The following week, they attended a lecture in person. The other half of the class started with in-person, then switched to online. The electrical activity of their brains and hearts were monitored. They also took surveys on their fatigue and mood levels. Participants reported feeling drowsy and fed up while participating in the video conference. The brain and heart activity backed that up. The study was published in the journal Scientific Reports. The researchers say the study shows the physical toll of video conferencing, and they say it suggests video conference should be a complement to face-to-face interaction, but not a substitute. And late-night TV show host Stephen Colbert is on the mend after he ruptured his appendix. He underwent surgery and is now recovering. Colbert announced on social media Monday he has to cancel this week's shows because of what happened. He thanked his doctors for their care and his family for putting up with him, and he joked all emails to his appendix will now be handled by his pancreas. Colbert has also missed some shows last month after he tested positive for COVID-19. Well, we've been telling you all morning about it, but we'll say it again. It's frigid outside. Be careful when you go out the door. And watch out, there are some spits of some flurries as you hit the road. We'll break it all down for you with another check of the forecast coming up next.
You're watching News 18 this morning. News from where you live.
Welcome back. A lot to do if you're going to be heading out the door this morning. Give yourself some extra time, you know, all the layers and warming up the car and all that stuff.
Yep, that's what I did this morning before I stepped outside. Well, before I stepped outside, got all my clothes on, for sure, my jacket, gloves, and then went outside, started the truck, went back inside, ate breakfast, and then finally. It was on my way to work. And
it's a whole process, isn't it?
It was. So make sure to bundle up this morning. It is very cold out. Wind chill values are in the single digits. We're currently at 4 degrees here in Lafayette, it feels like, with air temperatures in the mid-teens. And we'll work up to the mid-20s today for highs. This is like December, January weather for us here at the later portion of November. But thankfully, though, we'll be back to near normal for tomorrow and then above normal for Thursday. So quite the turnaround, 50 on Thursday. And that's when our next chance of rain will come in Thursday afternoon, evening. And then we'll see kind of a showery, wet day on Friday with highs only in the lower to mid 40s. In the weekend, Saturday is the best day out of the two, 46, 54. Some scattered rain Sunday, staying into the 40s into next week.
News 18's Pet of the Day, sponsored by Trisha's Redbird Cafe.
It's time to name News 18 this morning's Pet of the Day. Today's winner is Buddy. In this photo, Buddy was enjoying time with his owner on Christmas, watching Indiana Jones.
I was getting ready to say watching Buddy the Elf, but no, Indiana Jones.
Oh yeah, they got the same name. Is Indiana Jones a Christmas movie? I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think there's any Christmas scene. I don't know. I might have to look that one up.
We'll have to double check that one.
Yeah.
But I mean, such a good time to watch movies, and he snuggled up. You know, Buddy kind of looks like Winnie.
Sure.
Winnie. That was the dog we had yesterday.
So yes,
very nice.
That's right. Got the Christmas tree behind him. It's all snuggled up there.
All right, looking good, Buddy. Hey, you can submit your favorite pet photo on our website, WLFI.com, for a chance to be featured as our Pet of the Day right here on News 18 this morning. And there's still more News 18 this morning on the way. As always, stay connected with us on our website, WLFI.com. We'll be right back. Authorities are busy looking into the discovery of 2 bodies in separate cases over the weekend. On News 18 this morning, what we know so far about those investigations.
Well, if you look closely, you may see just a couple flurries flying here on our tower camera in West Lafayette, but it's just downright cold and blustery. I'll let you know when warmer air will be on the way. Coming up my forecast.
And believe it or not, but we are less than a month away from Christmas, and Purdue Memorial Union has already begun decorating. What you need to know ahead of this year's Christmas tree lighting, up next.
News 18 this morning starts now. WLFI Lafayette. News from where you live.
Welcome back. It's 5:34 on November 28th. I'm Joe Paul. Thanks for joining us. You're going to wake up. It's going to feel like the single digits out there this morning. Let's check in with meteorologist David Seipel. It's got that cold Tuesday forecast.
Very cold, as we called it yesterday, and it's feeling like these single digits. Like you said, Joe, I want to look at current air temperatures. We're sitting in the mid to upper teens, 17 here in Lafayette, 16. Good morning up in Monticello. 20 in Rensselaer, but I want to get to this graphic, very important graphic, because this is what it feels like outside to the body. 0 degrees in Kokomo, 4 degrees Frankfort, feels like 8 degrees up in Rensselaer, feels like 2 in Crawfordsville. Definitely a cold one, and you'll step outside and you'll see maybe a flurry flying around or two. Just a very dry snow. You can see some lake effect snow coming off of Lake Michigan, far northeastern portions of the viewing area into Indiana near Fort Wayne. So if you're traveling in that direction, you may see a few slick spots, but otherwise across much of the viewing area, it's just cold. We're going to be seeing temperatures mid-teens, 15 by 7 o'clock. Isolated flurry, just cold and windy this morning. It's still going to be a cold day with highs only in the 20s, 27 for a high at 3 o'clock, the coldest day since mid-March, as we discussed all day yesterday, to be prepared for today. So bundle up before you head on outside. The good news is we do have warmer air in the forecast. I'll let you know when that will occur, how warm we'll get, and we'll time out some rain chances by the end of the week in my full forecast here in about 10 minutes. All right, well, on your way to work or school this morning, maybe warm up that vehicle. I know I did, to give yourself a little bit more comfortable ride, warm that engine up. But on the way home, it'll still be fairly cold, partly cloudy. The wind will start to die down a little bit, but looking at our current traffic flows, seeing an accident just south of Lebanon. Doesn't look like too much of a backup issue there, but otherwise no major incidents across the viewing area right now on this Tuesday morning commute. Joe.
Thanks, David. The Tippecanoe County coroner is still working to ID a pedestrian who was killed during an early morning hit-and-run crash. An officer responding to a call around 3 Sunday morning found a body on South Creasy Lane near St. Franciscan Way. The victim is described as a 61-year-old woman from Lafayette. An autopsy was performed yesterday, but the victim has yet to be identified. The crash remains under investigation and no one's been arrested. Anyone with information should call Lafayette Police at 765-807-1200. West Lafayette Police have preliminarily ruled a man's death a suicide after his body was found on a Cumberland Park trail. Tippecanoe County Coroner Kerry Costello says the body was found around 7:45 Sunday night. Costello's working to ID the man, but notes he's in his 30s and is presumed to be from West Lafayette. Captain Adam Ferguson confirmed police are investigating the death as a suicide. A Lafayette man's in jail on preliminary charges of rape and incest. Lieutenant Justin Hartman says a woman called 911 and said she woke up to being raped. It happened just before 6 a.m. Saturday in the 3100 block of Quarry Drive. Police say 26-year-old suspect Mario Vinson ran away from the house. Officers found him a short time later near Beck Lane and Poland Hill Road. A Lafayette man's heading to prison after being sentenced to more than 90 years on child molestation charges. Court documents say officers last January got a report of sexual abuse and went to the Red Roof Inn for a well-being check on Ethan Nichols. One of the victims told police Nichols sexually assaulted her multiple times between 2019 and 2021. She also said she lived with Ethan at a residence near Gordon Court, along with at least 2 other victims. Nichols was convicted after a 4-day jury trial. He was sentenced to 92.5 years with 90 years to be served in the Indiana Department of Correction. More testing scheduled this week for the controversial Leapwater Pipeline project. As we've reported, the IEDC is proposing a pipeline to move tens of millions of gallons of water a day from aquifers in Tippecanoe County to Boone County. The IEDC says a study found 2 wells downstream of the Wabash could supply 30 million gallons a day with minimal impact on residential wells. Last week, Tippecanoe County commissioners passed a moratorium blocking anyone from extracting more than 5 million gallons of water a day to areas outside of the county. You're looking at video taken during that meeting right now. It also gives the county the option to extend the 9-month moratorium if necessary. The commissioners will vote on a second reading December 4th. All right, Thanksgiving over. That means it's time to put the pumpkins away and bust out the Christmas decorations. New this morning, Purdue Memorial Union's kicking off the holidays with a 25-foot Christmas tree. News 18's Hadassah Harris was there yesterday as the Christmas tree arrived, and she also spoke with program directors. She joins us now in the studio to share how we can all get into the Christmas spirit. Hi, Hadassah.
Hey, Joe, that's right. As the saying goes, it's the most wonderful time of year, and Purdue Memorial Union is certainly basking in the Christmas spirit. Yesterday afternoon, Purdue students, faculty, and young children stood on the outskirts of the Great Hall to witness this year's Christmas tree being put up. With the tree lighting ceremony taking place this Wednesday, the tradition of at least 80 years welcomed a tree from right here in West Lafayette. I spoke with Programs and Engagement Assistant Director Michaela Woodward, who looks forward to seeing the community in attendance.
We hope you come out and join us. It's going to be a lovely night. We'll have hot cocoa and coffee and cookie decorating and crafts for the children. I believe Mr. and Mrs. Claus will be making an appearance, and so we hope that you bring out your family and join us.
There will also be musical selections from student organizations and children's choirs. Purdue President Mung Chiang is expected to be in attendance as well. The tree lighting ceremony is happening this Wednesday at Purdue Memorial Union's Great Hall. The ceremony will begin at 5:30, and President Chiang will join the festivities with his first lighting of the tree at 6 p.m. All are invited and welcome to attend. Reporting in studio this morning, Hadassah Harris, News 18.
Thanks, Hadassah. Registration now open for one of the biggest agricultural events in the Midwest, and it takes place right here in our neck of the woods. The Purdue Top Farmer Conference is set to take place January 5th at the Beck Ag Center. The one-day event will be looking at the fuels of the future. Among the hot topics is the future of biofuels and the major impact it could have on several crop markets, including soybeans. Jim Bullard will be one of the showcase speakers. He's an economist and former president of the Federal Reserve Bank in St. Louis. We have a link to the conference where you can learn more about the itinerary, on our website, WLFI.com. A memorial service is going to be held later today in Atlanta to honor former First Lady Rosalynn Carter, who's expected to pay their respects when News 18 This Morning returns.
Yeah, it's a very cold, blustery morning this morning, but the good news is warmer air is on the way in the forecast. I'll let you know how warm and when that will occur. My full forecast coming up right after this break.
You're watching News 18 this morning. News from where you live.
Welcome back. It's 5:45. A tribute service will be held today for former First Lady Rosalynn Carter, who died last week at the age of 96. Her husband, former President Jimmy Carter, is expected to attend, according to the Carter Center. President Joe Biden, former President Bill Clinton, and a long list of other dignitaries, including all the living First Ladies, are also expected to attend the service in Atlanta.
And now, your Storm Team 18 forecast. Weather from where you live.
All right, as expected, you step outside, you definitely need to bundle up in many layers. We're sitting at 17 degrees, the actual air temperature in Lafayette, Delphi, Monticello, 20, Rensselaer, 18, Winnemac, Rochester, 15 in Kokomo. But that wind, kind of relentless out of the west-northwest, 10 to 15 miles per hour, 16 miles per hour up in Morocco, 15 up in Peru. You factor that in the temperature. Temperatures all drop into the single digits to 0 in Kokomo. 5 degrees it feels like Frankfort, 4 degrees it feels like here in Lafayette. So dangerous air this morning. Bundle up, get the kiddos dressed up, and pretty much don't have any exposed skin. Very cold out there, and you're also seeing maybe a few flurries flying around this morning. It's a very dry snow. We have some lake effect snow, obviously in southern Michigan, northern Indiana, even up toward Rochester. Even Winnemac might see a little bit more flurries due to that lake effect, but across much of the viewing area, we're seeing mostly cloudy conditions with some of those flurries around. Now we'll get most of these clouds out of here in the coming hours. We'll see more sun, but that's not going to help really at all today. We'll be into the lower to mid 20s by lunchtime, still feeling cold all day with wind chill values only in the teens. 16 it'll feel like by 3 with a west wind, 9 miles per hour, 27 degrees our high today. So just a downright cold, wintry day today. Temperatures tomorrow much warmer. A big difference for our forecast on Wednesday. More sunshine. We'll still wake up pretty cold, so don't let your guard down tomorrow morning. We'll wake up to 43 tomorrow. We'll see high temperatures 43 for that 3 o'clock hour for Wednesday. So looking at Futurecast Wednesday evening, we'll have a good day Wednesday. That south wind will infect some more rain into the forecast Thursday evening, and especially Friday morning. Look at this heavy rain that we're going to be seeing Friday morning. The wintry precipitation stays to the north, so that's the good news, but we're likely to see some heavy rain here Friday morning, lasting into early Friday afternoon. Saturday, as of right now, still looks dry. We're going to be keeping tabs on this forecast closely because models have kind of been off and on with some rain chances for Sunday and Monday. So we'll keep an eye on that forecast. As of right now, we'll keep Saturday dry, but as far as rainfall totals go, we could easily see about 3/4 of an inch to an inch of rainfall by Friday evening. So it's going to be pretty soggy Thursday night and into Friday morning. So enjoy the sunshine while you can. Obviously today you can't really enjoy it. 27 degrees for a high today, 43 tomorrow, 50 well above normal on Thursday. But those rain showers come in Thursday night into Friday, 45, 46 on Saturday. And then we'll be seeing the temperatures raise back up into the mid-50s by Sunday with those scattered rain chances Sunday, Monday. We'll keep it scattered to isolated for right now for the end of the week, but the best chance for rain really occurs Thursday into Friday morning, Joe.
All right, so glad that it's going to warm up here very soon. This morning is not fun. Yesterday morning wasn't fun either, but it's even worse. I guess it could be worse. It feels like 4 degrees here, but it was feeling like 0 degrees in Kokomo, wow.
It's only November, so we have plenty of months to go to get those very cold temperatures in here. But, regardless, this morning, very cold. As you said, Kokomo, they're down to, it feels like 0 degrees. So any exposed skin, it's a hazard. It's very cold out. So bundle up many layers, but thankfully, relief on the way for tomorrow.
Relief on the way. Such good news. All right, thanks, David. Hey, bad news, though, for Boilermaker football. 10 players now looking to go elsewhere. Sports 18's Bree Shackelford tells us who's in the transfer portal now after the break.
And now, sports scores and highlights. News 18. Sports from where you live.
Well, thank you for sticking around and welcome back. Purdue men's basketball is back at the top, sitting at #1 for the 3rd year in a row. Boilermakers, only team in the Big Ten to have accomplished such a feat, but is being at the top really that great? Because the last 2 times Purdue was ranked at #1, they suffered a loss the very next game. Now, both of those losses came from Rutgers, who Purdue won't see until the end of January of next year. But the history with having the #1 spot hasn't been the greatest for this team. The Gold and Black will have to battle against Texas Southern tonight if they want to keep their spot at the top. Tip-off is set for 8:30, and we'll have a full recap of the game for you on News 18. Now, Purdue football season may be over, but one freshman remains in the spotlight. A name we've heard all year, Dylan Thieneman, has been named once again as the Big Ten Freshman of the Week. This is the 5th Big Ten Freshman of the Week award Thieneman has picked up this season. This award now makes him the only Big Ten defensive player and only Purdue freshman to have won this award 5 times. Thieneman was lights out in the game against Indiana this past weekend, recording not 1 but 2 interceptions and having 8 tackles on the day. His performance also set a Purdue record for having the most interceptions by a freshman and having the most solo tackles by a freshman as well. He ends the year with 74 solo tackles and 6 interceptions for 58 yards. And when good news comes about, bad news is sure to follow. Several Purdue football players have entered their names into the transfer portal. Last week, we report TJ Sheffield did so, but it seems a lot of his teammates followed suit after the Oaken Bucket game. In no particular order, we have Josh Katlenberger, Corday Sidor, O.C. Brothers, Julio Macias, Dominic Moon, J.P. Dieter, Mershon Rice, Suleiman Paca, and Prince Boyd. That's 10 total Boilers that may not be with the program come next year. And the reason I say may not be with the program is because all of the athletes can withdraw their name out of the portal and stay at Purdue if they so choose so. That does it for sports. We'll see you back here again soon.
And we've got time to take a look at your Cold Tuesday forecast when we come back as we wrap up the first hour of News 18 this morning. We'll be right back after this break. Stick around.
I mean, graphics is fine. Yeah, I'd say go to graphics.
You're watching News 18 this morning. News from where you live.
Well, the most impactful graphic of the morning here. Current wind chill ranging from 0 to Kokomo to 7 in Lafayette. Very cold start to your Tuesday. Be sure to bundle up. There may be an isolated, just very dry flurry out there this morning. No impacts to roadways, but just bundle up. We'll see a high of 27 today. Just a downright blustery, wintry day ahead of us, but thankfully relief on the way. 43 tomorrow, 50 on Thursday, and some heavy rain likely by Friday morning before we dry out ahead of Saturday.
Thank you, David. Thank you, everyone, for watching. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with more News 18 this morning.